Does your family own heirs property? Is this something, do you have some property that perhaps you inherited from a parent, a grandparent, great grandparent? Do you have that family house or that family land that you got from your ancestors that you and your family are trying to figure out what you're going to do with that property? If you are in that situation, I want you to know that the first step is not going to be doing things to clear up the property. We need to do something else first. And the thing that I need you to do before you get started working on your family's heirs property is to deal with any family conflicts that may be lingering in the background. I want you to think about your family situation. If you own property with your brothers and sisters, your cousins, your aunts and uncles, whoever it may be, think about that family and whether or not there's any undealt with conflicts that y'all need to deal with. And the reason why I want you to think about that is because family conflicts are probably the number one thing that are stopping families with heirs property from really addressing that situation. Family conflicts, it's the you stole my boyfriend when we were teenagers, or it's the mama and daddy always favored you kind of situation that causes families to not be able to resolve their heirs property. A lot of times people are focused so much on the land. They want to think, okay, I want to buy these folks out. I want to try to get us all to work together to create an LLC or trust or whatever it may be. And that's not even the first thing that needs to be dealt with. I've had many situations where client comes to me and says, "Hey, Attorney McClendon, we inherited this property from my great grandmother or from my grandfather, and we are ready to get this thing cleared up. We want to start making some money with the family property. We want to start using it to actually benefit the family and not just be paying taxes out of our pockets every month, every year." And so they come to me with that mindset. We're working on things. We make a family tree, which is the first thing that I want my clients to do. Create a family tree. We do a title search. We come up with a strategy. Then we start reaching out to family members. And that's when it all comes out. I had a call, in fact, just the other day where I was talking with someone who owns property with one of my clients. And I called him and he was as soon as he knew who I was and who I represented, he just went off. He said, "You don't know how evil this person is. You don't know what hurt they've caused our family. You don't know how they threatened to kill this person and threatened to hurt this person and how they didn't do this or didn't do that and how they messed this up or messed that up." All of it came out. And the thing that I kept hearing over and over was, "She has really hurt our family. She has really caused harm to our family. She's been really inconsiderate to my side of the family." And those family situations are the things that are often going to be the things that derail the whole heirs property title clearing situation. So it has to be dealt with. If it's not dealt with, it's going to come back to you later. It's going to come back to you later. And so you want to make sure that you get that dealt with. I want everybody to just be mindful of something. When you're approaching these family situations, you might even want to talk with your family before you even talk with an attorney, or before you bring an attorney into the situation. Because once the attorney calls on your behalf and says, "I'm attorney so and so, and I'm calling on behalf of my client," and they hear what that client's name is, they go off. I'm telling you, it's happened every time where they say, "They didn't even come to my wedding," or "They didn't come to daddy's funeral," or "They never paid a dime toward mama's hospital bills." All those things are coming out when we're trying to talk about, are you interested in selling your interest in this property to your family member? And so it's so important that families work through those family conflicts before we come to the table dealing with heirs property. Sometimes it's going to be not a situation where you're bringing in a lawyer to help you with this. You might need to bring in a family therapist first. You may need to bring in a mediator first. Those might be your initial steps. So make sure that you really assess the situation. You don't want to be caught off guard, and you don't want to have your attorney thinking that they calling somebody who's going to be on board with the plan and get cussed out. I've been cussed out. I've been yelled at. I've had people cry on the phone. had people just, call me all kinds of names. And the funny thing is that usually by the end of it, they're like, "Oh, you actually a nice person." And by the end of it, they're saying, "I'm sorry, ma'am. You don't know about the background in our family situation. So I'm sorry that you got brought into this." And so it started out, adversarial, animosity filled. But then once they know that I'm not there, like the family stuff is not the part that I'm as concerned with. I'm looking at, we did the title search. You own an interest in this property. We need to figure out how we're going to get this title issue cleared up, this heirs property cleared up. And they're telling me their whole family story. I mean, I've heard everything. I've heard about who did this with who, and who stole this from who, and who cheated this side of the family, and who left that side of the family out. I hear all of that stuff. So we want to deal with those things so that they are not the things that stop us from getting this process going. Many a times we have people who have made significant progress, and then there's this family situation that comes up that derails the whole process. And so we have to kind of be aware that those things are lingering in the background before we start dealing with the heirs property issue. So I just wanted to have this conversation, make sure that families are thinking about these issues before they attempt to work on heirs property issues. Um, when you work with my firm, we can talk through some of the things that you may encounter, some of the family conflicts that may arise. And then once we do that, we can, outline a strategy for dealing with this. Sometimes people in the family have had their feelings hurt, and they feel like they just never have been acknowledged. I've spoken with families where there was a special event that this particular family member had, and the other family members missed it, even though they were invited. And so when they came to her later and saying, "Okay, we would like to work with you to clear up our family property," she's like, "Y'all didn't want to talk to me during the family events. Y'all didn't want to come to my special event. And so now you want to talk with me about land? Now you want to talk to me about business?" And that family stuff is going to be in the way. So you got to be mindful of those things. So I just want to come on here for a few minutes just to bring this issue up. If you have questions about it, you had an experience about it yourself, why don't you put something in the comments to share, and we'll have another conversation about it. Y'all take care. Bye.